Hello, welcome to day 65 of 100 Days of Music. I'm calling today a special day because I actually have a guest joining me to share a story, and that guest is M L Ayer. Welcome. How about
Hi,
just a
Craig. It's
brief hi? Yeah, just give a brief
yeah.
intro, and then we'll get to your story, and then we'll talk a little bit more about your writing and what you want to share with people after the music.
Hi. Well, I'm ML Air, and mostly what I do is write children's fantasy with magic, and some of this is about how I got into that. My story is about how I actually came to be that person.
That's wonderful. Well, shall we dive into your story? So what's going to happen here is it, so I know you as Margaret. So in the, do I get to call you
It's all
Margaret?
right.
It seems strange calling you ML.
You may. That's fine. ML Air is my nom de plume. It's the name I write the children's fantasy under.
Yes, yeah. And so just out of curiosity, so when you're out in public, like looking to the future, what are people going to call you if they're going to
Well, I would like ML would be nice.
ML? Okay, well I'll call you ML
ML.
then. We didn't plan this part. Anyhow, you're going to share a story, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to inspire my music. So, I want you to go ahead and share your story, and then I may ask you some questions.
Okay.
So,
All right. Thank you. So when I was very little, I had just left kindergarten and was going into a big school at that point, and I had it was Halloween. My sister was at the kindergarten. She got a whole bunch of candy. And I had this dream at night. I felt it was very real. It was in my bedroom, and I was sitting up on the window seat looking out the window to the backyard where there was a playhouse and a pond. And I looked up in the sky, and a witch was flying overhead on her broomstick. And she was in technicolor, and behind her broom was streams of American candy in bright colors, and hard candy, bright colors, and cellophane wrapping, and it was falling over the garden, and it was inches deep on the roof of our playhouse, on the lawn, and on the pond, around the pond. And I thought, can't go out now, but I'll go out first thing in the morning and see what's there. And in the morning, I woke up and I looked out the window, and there was nothing there. It was all gone. And I was sad about this because I thought I was obviously not getting up early enough before it had all melted. And I told my mother about this, and my mother said, it was just a dream. It wasn't real. And then I said, yes, I know that, I realized. And then later on in my life, from that day till the day she died, anything that I told her about in my life that she didn't remember, she would just say to me, Margaret, that was just a dream and it wasn't real. And I was so annoyed because oftentimes it was real. She just hadn't been there. So that was my story of, and that dream is something I still remember to this day. I mean, I was like 4, so it's been many, many, many years that it's stuck in my mind.
I love it. Now, before I play music to that, like there's kind of like these sections to this story.
Mhm.
There's like the dream, and then there's the next morning, and there's your mom's response. What are the emotions or evocative, picturesque words that
Well,
you would put to those three sections or those two
the
sections?
first time was wonder, definitely, because here as I was looking outside, and it was all these things, that the candy that I had wanted for Halloween was being flown into me by this witch. So it was that amazing wonder, and there was plenty of it, and it was all over the garden, and it was there. So that's a wonder of it. In the morning coming up, it was a slight disappointment because I was obviously wrong because I hadn't gotten up early enough, and the sun had just melted it all away and it was gone. So I was a little sad. And then annoyance because my mother would never believe anything I said to her after that she had never seen, she hadn't seen. Because she said, well, you confuse dreams and reality, so it's not real. So
Okay.
those three parts of mood.
Okay,
So
so
indignation,
wonder
I
and
think, is for the third. Wonder,
excitement.
disappointment, and indignation.
Okay. Well, let's create a little story with that. I'm just going to put you on mute while I play. All right. Now, I think actually that we each I think we actually each muted each other, Margaret. I muted you before I started, and then you unmuted yourself because I could hear little noises once in a while when I was
Oh,
playing.
sorry. I didn't unmute myself. I didn't touch anything. So I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, something happened anyhow. It's all
All right.
fine. It's all fine. It's just that when you started talking just now, you were muted again. So,
Okay.
but we can hear. Everybody can hear each other now. I'm sure we're not supposed to be talking about our technical difficulties on our live stream, but here we are. We're doing it.
Yes. Well, that is what is a live stream. You're supposed to have technical
Yes.
difficulties. That's the way it is. So yeah.
By the way,
Thank you. It was
everybody,
very
this
nice. I
is
liked it.
yeah, this is my first time doing an interview, so thank you for being the guinea pig, ML.
You're welcome. And I
So
think that was it, the music was lovely. It did bring me back to that. It recreated um, my emotions during that story. It was at that time. So yes, thank you.
good. I think you could hear the indignation part with
Indignation.
your mother. Yeah. So, thank you for doing that. I want to do more of
You're
these.
welcome.
So, for those who are out there listening, if you have a story you would like to share, I'll send you a link and you'll come on and you'll share your story and I'll make some music for it. But before we go, Margaret, ML, I
It's all
want
right.
you to share a little bit more about your writing and whatever you'd like to share. I know that you're working on things right now, so let us know a little bit more about it.
So ML is as ML. I am writing magical fantasy for children between the ages. It's middle school, middle grade, so between 10 to 14, and it is based on my nephew when he was starting to turn 10, and as he's now in his he's now over 21, but the stories of his life of and his sisters as what would happen if there was magic and fairies in their lives. So and my fae work at Microsoft and in high tech all over the world. So it's been interesting, interesting magic to try and create with that.
Yes,
So it's
and
been fun.
and you've got a and so this book is in what point is the
Uh,
current
we
story you're
have
working on it?
the first book was originally published about 10 years ago, but I'm rewriting it to fit in with the way that I had created it as a standalone, and there are it's actually a trilogy now, and there may be more stories that are coming with it. Um, and it is the first book is more about lost magic. The Fae have gone to their own world, and they don't have the magic that was available to them on Earth. And Simon becomes the holder of magic for the Fae on Earth. And the second book takes place in Seattle, and is more about what happens when a Fae who is a fire Fae comes through to Earth and starts setting forest fires up and down the coast. And it's how that works. And then the third book, and at that point, the Fae are coming out and saying, we're here, and are involved in helping to deal with with the fires. And the third book, the Queen of Fairy has decided that there are so many partial Fae, humans who have been descended one way or another from fairies, several generations down, but they have magic in themselves, so they can change their bodies. They have all kinds of magic that they have, but they can't use it on Earth. And she has decided to have these partial Fae come to Fairy to start work to be in school in Fairy and work both in on Earth and in Fairy to try and clean the Earth, clean the planets, and restore magic. And so that has been. It's more about belonging and also about uh, cleaning up and attempting to use magic to solve the climate crisis.
Oh,
So
I like
it's
it.
going to be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the next book will be yet. So that's the
Yeah.
first three.
Do you have any links or anything? Send them to me, and
Um,
I'll put them in the
yes.
descriptions or in the
Yes, I
comments.
have a
Or
current Facebook page and I have a Patreon page that is covering all three.
okay, send those to me when we're done here, and
Yes.
I'll put them in the description and in the comments.
And one
Yeah.
of the things that you can get from both the Facebook page and the Patreon page is there are will be very short stories about the books are mostly told from Simon's point of view, but these short stories are from the point of view of any and all of the side characters that are in the books. So you get to know the other people in his world as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, ML. So, for those of you who checked in while we're doing this, thank you for joining us. For those of you who check in after we're finished here, thank you for joining us. I'll be back for day 66 of 100 Days of Music. And now that I've done my first interview, I'm keen to do more. So, I've got a lovely mix of interviews, movies that I play music to, and the ideas that people share in the comments. So please do share ideas in the comments to inspire my improvisations. I've got tons of them, but I like to see the new ones coming in. To check out my musical offerings, there's two places you can look. You look at underthepiano.ca, which is all about my Under the Piano experience, or you can look at craigaddy.com, which includes Under the Piano and all the other musical offerings that I have. Thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you soon.